Welcome to the Cardinals Roost. Oof, that is corny as shit. I am never doing that again. Probably good I got that out of my system. Let me try something else here. Hang on. What's up? Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Boogie2980 coming at you live once again to the power of the internet. That's not my intro either. Well, speaking of Boogie, I want to take a moment to give him a huge shout out because his name, Boogie2980, is a big inspiration for me to come up with my own name. When you're on social media, YouTube, Twitch, anywhere else, you need to have something unique to stand out, and I don't know if my name is all that great, but it's at least mildly unique. Apparently another channel, Killer Cardinal, started up around the same time I started mine, so I guess the only difference name-wise is the DA7. Hopefully Boogie won't get mad at me for using his image or biting his intro. I volunteer as tribute. Anyways, I'm just going to stick with my current intro statement for now. Here we go. Hello greater YouTube area and the surrounding internet regions, this is Killer Cardinal DA7. To anyone visiting my channel going forward, this is just a short video to explain where my name comes from and take a second for a bit of reflection. In case my channel icon is still the maroon colored guy with a finger over his mouth, and in case you don't know who that is, his name is Iwazaru from the game Killer7, developed by Suda51 and published by Capcom. Killer7 has a bit of a cult following, and it's one of my favorite games of all time because even with a very simple on-rails movement and shooting mechanic, the story is deep, the concept of switching between multiple personalities of Harmon Smith's assassins was compelling, and it has so many undertones of philosophy, politics, and morality interwoven throughout. But the reason I chose Iwazaru as my channel icon, no, it's not an indication of my sexual proclivities. Not directly anyway, I'll get into that in the future. One of the common phrases Iwazaru exclaims throughout much of Killer7 is, "We're in a tight spot, I mean tighter than tight." Now, I'm sure Iwazaru being dressed as a gimp, there's some double entendre going on there, but usually when he says that in the game, it means you as the player and he are in some trouble that needs to be resolved. America being in a rather volatile and chaotic state at the moment, to say we're in a tight spot is an understatement. Hopefully I can spotlight, explain, and elaborate on some of those problems, and eventually wander in the direction of some solutions to those problems that we can all agree on. At least I'm going to try. Also, if you turn attention to this little thing I made not too long ago, I want to make an official blanket statement and declare that I did not invent this. It's originally from Killer7, which heavily references the moon. Here's a short clip from one of the moons from the game. I made my own version with a Creative Commons image and free sound effects and put them all together with my name on it. Hopefully I don't get in any trouble for using my version. If I do, I'll immediately take it down or change it or whatever I have to do. I don't mean to step on any toes that break copyrights. I just want to do a cool tribute to a game I love. So that takes care of the Killer7 parts of my name. What about the Cardinal? Short version, I like black on red as a color scheme, and I like birds. Cardinals do both. My appreciation for them does link closely to parts of my romantic past though, so I'll go into that more in the future as well. This will have to do for now. The main event in a sense is the DA, which stands for Devil's Advocate, and I want to explain what the definition for that is because after a year worth of posting videos on this channel and citing Devil's Advocate as a way to discuss things here, I thought it was about time I actually looked up what it officially means and where it came from. Wikipedia describes the origin of it first, then explains how we typically use it. Here's what they say, quote, "The Devil's Advocate was formerly an official position within the Catholic Church, one who argued against the canonization or sainthood of a candidate in order to uncover any character flaws or misrepresentation of the evidence favoring canonization. In common parlance, the term Devil's Advocate describes someone who, given a certain point of view, takes a position he or she does not necessarily agree with, or simply an alternative position from the accepted norm, for the sake of debate or to explore the thought further. Despite being ancient, this idiomatic expression is one of the most popular present-day English idioms used to express the concept of arguing against something without actually being committed to the contrary view," unquote. So right off the bat, I consider it incredibly ironic that I tend to take positions disagreeing with religion, but I have in my name a concept developed by the church. I can only hope a religious person brings that up and I can direct them here to show them I've already dealt with that. I realized recently that the concept of the Devil's Advocate means so much to me personally because for a long time I've kept myself very isolated. Even when playing persistent online experiences with multiplayer modes built in, I'm usually more prone to playing alone. And when I think about important social issues or I see a news story and I have one or more feelings about it, I tend to argue without anyone around. Like during a commute to work yelling at my windshield. I basically play a Mortal Kombat mirror match in my head. I fight myself on the issue, I argue against it on my own, I mentally spar, I play both sides, and whichever side wins, I guess that's where I land. As the definition says, when I play Devil's Advocate with myself, play with myself, I push arguments to their limits by letting those sides fight it out in my head. In a weird, admittedly creepy way, the Devil's Advocate is almost like an imaginary friend of mine. I look closely enough at all angles to ask questions that go between the lines, and by playing both sides, I argue against myself in hopes of finding the best counterpoints to anticipate. I think in past videos I've used the Devil's Advocate as merely an extreme view, not necessarily an opposing one to what I believe. However, being a Libra, the scales of balance, and trying to land somewhat center-left politically, I not only feel capable to see both sides and address them as much as they deserve, but most viewpoints at the extreme ends of the spectrum are likely opposing views to where I am, so I guess I accidentally used this concept correctly after all. Of course, when I do happen to argue with other people, I do spend a lot of time taking an opposing side to what they say, even if it's not something I believe in. If I do that to you, it's not an indication indication of what exactly my stance is, nor is it my way of trying to judge you. It's just me testing the strength of your argument. I'm my own devil's advocate, but I also do that for others. It's just my way of telling people how much I love them. As I engage more people online, the trick will be to have control over my emotions and not lose my shit or get into fights. I want to try to be respectful, but also critical. And I realize when I do try to be as respectful as humanly possible, there are still going to be people who take offense or feel disrespected. That's going to be tough to navigate, especially when I start leaning too far in one direction, at which point I'll likely need to counterbalance the other way, and hopefully I'll be able to do so enough that everyone's happy, but you know what they say about making everyone happy, right? Of course you do. I graduated college with a bachelor's in communication, and although I've had jobs involved with communication like advertising and marketing, I'm really excited by the prospect of using my knowledge and learning on a platform like this where I can encourage more communication at a time when we desperately need more of it. If I were to declare a long-term goal, I kind of want to be the mediator of the internet, the mediator of America. Lots of people are so adamant about debating and verbal battling and intellectual dick swinging. Sorry, no image for that one. And for me, I just don't see a lot of point when most of that debating doesn't really yield any significant changes. I'd rather try my hand at bringing people together and ending arguments than just throwing my hat in the ring to fight when I know I'm not capable enough to handle heavy throwdowns. But like I said, those are long-term goals, one step at a time. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again. Damn it, that's Boogie again. Sorry, Boogie, I'll do my own close. This is Killer Cardinal DA7 reminding you to use your head, be nice to each other, and take the time to think. Thank God for Jim Sterling. I'll talk to you later.